And co-director of European Resilience Initiative Centre, and he joins us live from Berlin. A very good evening to you, Sergej. Now, Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk reiterating that Poland remains Ukraine's strongest ally, he says. But how important is it that he finds a balance here?
Good evening, and thank you for having invited me tonight. Indeed, it is a very important visit, and we have already seen that Poland's Foreign Minister, Mr. Sikorski, has already visited Kiev last week, and both visits are an important sign of a continuation of very close contact between Poland and Ukraine. Many hope that as soon as the new government of Donald Tusk will be in power in Poland, the border blockade will be released. These trackers blockade you've mentioned before, the blockade is still in power, and many Ukrainians say that crossing the border is exactly as complicated as it used to be. So for many Ukrainians, there is a hope that these tensions will be released, as only the Polish state can stop this blockade by using, for example, police force or by negotiation with the Polish truckers. They can decide how to do it. But anyway, this blockade is very unfortunate for the trade between Ukraine and the EU, and doesn't improve relations between two nations.
And Sergej, is Tusk expected to throw yet more military aid at this war? And does he even have the money?
Oh, well, Polish support for Ukraine was very effective from the very beginning, from the first weeks of the full-scale invasion. And Poland was one of the first nations, or among the first nations, which has delivered Ukraine with heavy weapons, over 200 of heavy tanks, artillery systems, anti-air missiles, even jets, like the old Soviet jets, which Ukraine is using now. All this equipment has been provided by the Poles. Poland also accommodated over 1 million of Ukrainian refugees. Many of them work now in Polish economy. So the relations are indeed very strong, and but Ukraine is still dependent on the Western support, and it is understandable, as over 10% of the territory is being occupied by Russia, and the Ukrainian economy suffers a lot. So macroeconomic support is important. Other ways of support are important, especially while the support from the US government and from some European governments like Germany, for example, is not that active as it used to be. So for the Ukrainians, relations to Poland remain to be very high on their priority list.
And Sergej, I did want to ask you about this post-election period in Poland at the moment. It's proving problematic for Tusk, isn't it? Why is the transition of power proving so tricky for him?
Well, we have seen a lot of tensions in Poland during this transition period. We have seen the conflict, and I would say it is indeed a conflict, an internal conflict in the Polish society, which resulted in the shutting down of public media in Poland, which the new Polish government see as being like infested by the supporters of the former political system of the Peace Party, and vice versa. The conservative opposition now, the Peace Party, believes that what the new government is doing is anti-constitutional, and there is even a decision of the Constitutional Court which says that the dismissal of the former management of the public TV broadcaster was illegal, but vice versa, the new government says that the Constitutional Court of Poland has been illegally filled by the supporters of the peace. So as you see, there is like no high authority to which both parties, the new Tusk government and the former peace government, now the opposition, could come together and say, look, we want to have like a peace in our society. Please rule our dispute. I'm afraid that this confrontation between the political sectors in Poland will remain for a while, and it is not good for neither for Poland nor for Ukraine, as of course it slows down the political development and brings a lot of pain and suffering into political discussion.
Sergej, thank you very much for your time this evening. Sergej Sumlenny joining us from Berlin.
Thank you so much.